All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chid from Gooner Out coming to you with a real quick review of the game. First thing first, let me take this opportunity to thank my guest Lee. Um, I had a lot of love coming from that last review, and so did Lee. So obviously, if you haven't gone watched it, go and watch my preview of this game I'm about to talk about, and go and send Lee some love as well as myself. And yeah, it was really unexpected actually because we felt like we really rambled on, so we were really conscious of the fact that we were boring you guys, but we had a lot of love. I noticed you guys tend to respond really well to when I have guests on here, so trust me, I hear you, and you'll see what I have planned over the next few weeks. Here's some quick thoughts about the game. First things first, let's address the obvious. Somebody's got a haircut. The one thing about my videos is I try and look back on them and rewatch them and critique myself. There were a couple of things that I wanted to address. First of all, how shabby my fucking hair was. So I had to address that shit today. Hence why I got a little skin fade, Got a little number one, a skin fade. And number two, it will be my microphone. I assumed my microphone and my camera was good enough. It really isn't, and you guys deserve better. So I have made a couple of really good purchases. First things first, hopefully that should be with me, I'm hoping, sometime in the middle of next week. So you'll start to hear better audio from me. Anyway, into the game. That's why you tuned in. Let me stop rabbiting. I thought the game was pretty to be honest. I thought my title kind of was aptly named. It was the first half, it was so boring. I ain't gonna lie, at one point I dozed off. I actually dozed off, and I was talking to my mate on Google Hello, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially WhatsApp but for Google. And I must have literally done this, and then before I knew it, I sent them like a voice note of about 38 seconds of me snoring. So I don't know what else to say about that, but essentially it was just a bit of a boring match. It was a match where essentially we were attempting to, I don't even really know what we were doing, almost going through the motions. You could see that the pressure going into the game was pretty immense. Crowd wasn't particularly backing them a lot, and we were just kind of going through the motions a little bit. And then in the second half, and then we scored a goal. Theo Walcott, well taken goal. Theo played amazingly well throughout the entire game. I'm really starting to be impressed with Theo again. Thank God, because I was a bit worried for a little while. But lately, he's really been one of the few, along with Ox, who unfortunately got himself injured today. But they were the two have really stood up lately, and Theo played really well throughout the game. I think kind of as the game wore on, and they kind of got more and more tired, because let's be honest, they were chasers, shadows. I don't care what the biased commentators told you. And as for Chris Sutton, oh, flip me. Anyway, they were chasers, shadows, I even put it to my friend today. So she did something stupid. She likes winding me up. So she went to me, "Oh, keep me updated with the Arsenal Lincoln scores." I'm like, "Why the hell do you want to know that?" And she was like, "Oh, well, I bet that Lincoln would beat Arsenal." I said, "You stupid bitch." and she started busting out laughing. And I said, "Cool, no problem, because Lincoln have no chance." I was always pretty adamant. Like, oh my gosh, imagine if Lincoln had won today. But I felt like there was no way Lincoln were going to win. And as the game was going on in the first half, I thought, flip me, am I sure? But I kept thinking, no, we'll step it up. We're just going through the motions. And then Cech made a really good save. And I could hold my hands up, because I've been a bit critical of Cech lately. But That was a very good save, diving towards his right-hand side. And then Theo scored and it relaxed. It looked like it relaxed the players, not so much the fans. I think the fans are still a little bit wary, to be honest. But it relaxed the players. I sent a little jabbing text to my mate who'd bet against us. And then we went into the second half, and it's all of a sudden, it's like somebody reminded the players, we're the Premier League team here, right? And from that point onwards, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. Ended up 5-0. Should have been 6, except Alexis hit the crossbar. Alexis had one beautiful solo goal. It was fantastic. In fact, thinking about it, he also more or less presented Ramsey's goal on a plate to him. I thought in the end it was a good enough performance and a comfortable performance at that. So let me stop rabbiting on and give you what my 1 to 10s are. I thought Cech made a really good save, and I've got to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought Bellerin looked pretty good. His end product, though, he still needs to improve. I do 100% agree with Lee when he says that his crossing is woeful. I 100% agree with him. Having said that, I thought he did all right. I thought his attacking prowess was pretty good. I don't know if he did enough for me to give him a 7, but I'd definitely give him a 6. I thought Koscielny and Mustafi dealt with the physical challenge pretty well of that big lump of a striker that they have, and did reasonably well, as they should. They're Premier League defenders. He's a Conference League striker, but it's physical challenges our defense tends to struggle with. So I think from that respect, I thought they did well enough. I'd give them both 7. Gibbs, I thought, was really good. Had a couple of really, really good mazy runs. Actually caused them to score an own goal as well. And it's just the reason why I prefer him to Monreal in that position. Yes, I do believe we need a couple of left backs, if I'm being honest. But from now until the end of the season, for me, Gibbs is number 1. And I give him, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10. I thought he did really well. Xhaka, after picking up his early yellow card, and I thought, oh no, grew into the game better, sprayed a couple of passes a little bit better, timed his tackles a little bit better, and we're getting close to normal Xhaka here. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Not bad. As for his partner, Aaron Ramsey, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell. There was a tweet I saw earlier that I had to retweet. It was, did somebody put goals in the air and forget to tell us about it? Because Ramsey is the way Ramsey's shooting, it's like he knows something we don't. His shooting is woeful, like really bad. And I finally realized why I hate Ramsey the way I do. Is he always, if you notice, whenever he fucks up, he does this stupid little grin. This little stupid smirk. You're like, oh, fuck. You know you fucked up, right? You should be smiling, right? I thought it was a little bit better in the second half, and that's coming from a harsh Ramsey critic. Was a little bit better in the second half. Did get himself a goal. I'll give him a 5 out of 10. That was more generous than I thought I was going to be, but I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Ox, I thought was pretty lively until he got injured. So I guess I can't really mark Ox, but I can mark his replacement, and that was Mesut. He was okay. He was okay. He did all right. He wasn't quite as anonymous as he's been in recent games. Having said that, I don't necessarily think he was amazing. I'm a bit worried about Mesut's form, I must admit, but let's see what happens. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was okay. I don't think he was amazing. The 2-star winners. It's going to be hard to pick a man in the match here, but I'm going to just purely for his second half performance, I'm going to give my man of the match to Alexis. But Theo pushed him close. I thought Theo was fantastic. And if you want to give him man of the match, I would not disagree with you. I thought he caused a lot of problems, was a constant menace. This is the Theo I wish he could bottle and continue for the rest of the season. It was just a constant menace. Yeah, sometimes he did mess up and sometimes he was a bit ambitious, I guess. But he was constant, kept trying, kept buzzing away, kept trying, kept buzzing away. And to be fair, in the first half against Bayern Munich, he did the same thing. Got himself a goal. I'd give him an 8 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Alexis, on the other hand, I'd give a 9 out of 10 too. Given the fact that the spotlight was firmly on Alexis, I thought he reacted pretty well. In the first half was a little bit quiet, but then so was everyone. In the second half, though, clearly someone has said something to that team because they all switched on, none more so than Alexis. Just kept trying it again, plugging away. His movement in the second half was fantastic. His link-up play with Ozil was pretty good. His link-up play with Theo was pretty interesting. Him, Theo, and Giroud, their link-up play was actually pretty good today. But again, you would expect it against a non-league side. So I'd give him a 9 out of 10. I think he scored a goal, scored a fabulous goal, hit the crossbar, pretty much presented Ramsey with a goal at his feet. 9 out of 10. Giroud. Well, Giroud, unless we play to his strengths, he's not going to be much use to the game. It's as simple as that. I think in the second half we did better. We weren't necessarily getting crosses into him, but what we were now doing is getting passes into him so that he can kind of hold up the ball. And that was a lot of the reason how he ended up scoring his goal, because initially he fluffed a shot and then we were able to get it back into him and he coolly finished it, albeit via a deflected shot. Thought he did all right. Giroud is Giroud. You know, you're not going to get anything particularly spectacular from him on an ordinary game. Although, having said that, I'm talking like he didn't score a scorpion kick earlier this season. But Giroud is Giroud. He just does that. Having said that, I thought he did all right. Got himself a goal. Held up play when he needed to. 6 out of 10. Perez, I don't know what this kid has to do to start a game. I thought did well enough when he came on. I thought he was going to cause a little bit more problems than he ended up doing. I thought he overplayed the ball a couple of times. If I'm being honest, and you guys know I'm a fan of Perez. I'd give him a 5 out of 10. I don't think there was really enough to give him a proper mark. And he came on with 25 minutes to go, but didn't do enough. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Coquelin was Coquelin. Picked himself a yellow card, even though he was a sub. Didn't particularly add that much to the game. Did a couple of Hollywood passes that he had no business doing. 4 out of 10. I was disappointed with Coquelin, I'll be honest. And I guess the manager, you just have to give him a 7 out of 10. Like the team that he picked won. Doesn't mean that I don't want him out. Doesn't mean that I don't feel like the team shouldn't have started quicker. You know, bear in mind, this is a non-league team. I repeat, a non-league team. I used this example with my friend earlier. It's like me, I can handle myself. But it's like me thinking I can go and box in a ring with AJ. You know, it ain't going to end well for me. You know, I'm man enough to admit it. It ain't going to end well for me. Yeah, so, you know, could take a victory in the fact that you can only beat what's put in front of you, and we beat what's put in front of them. Having said that, I'm worried about the way we're starting games. I'm worried about how we're going to finish the season. And I'm worried that Wenger still, even after all the scrutiny, refuses to say when he's going to leave the club. So There it is. There's my review. Anyway, let me know if you liked it. Do thumbs it up, thumbs it down. I know you guys aren't shy about that type of stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitter, do follow me at Colossal Chig. That's CHIG. Similarly, if you're listening to me for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, onwards and upwards now. I think it's West Brom or someone like that away next week. So you'll get your usual preview and review from me. And I've got a plan for that one too. I know you guys like my surprises, so stay tuned on that one. All right, people. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.